Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now with the main headlines. 24th of the blessed month of Sha'ban marks the death anniversary of Shia jurist Ayatollah Mirza Shirazi. Human Rights Watch says over 2,000 Afghan evacuees detention in UAE. China and US clash over Uyghurs at UN Islamophobia event. Lahore, most polluted city. Pakistan ranks third among countries, a new IQ Air report finds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from Imam Hussein TV 3. The 24th of Sha'ban al-Mu'azzam marks the death anniversary of the scholar and jurist Mirza Muhammad Hassan al-Shirazi, known as Mirza Shirazi, who led any British colonialism protests. More details in the following report.
Born on the 25th of April 1815 in Shiraz, Iran, the late Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad Hassan Shirazi, also known as Mirza Shirazi, and is remembered in history as Mirza the Great or Mirza Mujaddid, is from the well-known Husseini Shirazi family, a family that has served people and defended Shia rights as clerics and religious authorities. At the age of 18, his consuming passion for learning led him to study at the Islamic Seminary of Isfahan. And at the age of 27, he mastered his studies at the seminaries in the holy cities of Karbala and Najaf. Very soon, he joined the circle of the special disciples of Sheikh Ansari. After the demise of Sheikh Ansari, the scholars of Najaf unanimously recognized the religious authority of Mirza Shirazi. At this point, he moved to Samarra and lived in this city until the end of his noble life. For about 30 years, he served the Shia community. His fight against British colonialism earned him permanent fame. On the 24th of Sha'ban, Al-Azm 1312 AH, 1895 AD, Mirza passed away in Samarra at the age of 82, and his body was buried in the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam. The fatwa of Mirza Shirazi against tobacco monopoly had such an influence that Nasr ud-Din Shah cancelled his contract with the British company and had to pay compensation. But this is not the end of the story of the anti-colonial struggles of the Shirazi family. Later, in 1919, Mirza Muhammad Taghi Shirazi, also known as Mirza II, decreed jihad against British colonialism, which became known as the 1920 Iraqi Revolution or the 10th Revolution. In the initial stages, this movement was met with success and received widespread acceptance from the Shia and Sunni tribes of Iraq. However, once the British agents succeeded in poisoning Mirza Muhammad Taqi Shirazi, the situation altered in favor of colonialists, and they were able to take down the pro-independence protests. The zeal for fighting colonialism and tyranny never ended in the Shirazi family and was passed down to the next generations. Therefore, pro-colonialism forces continue their enmity towards this noble family.
Human Rights Watch accused Emirati authorities on Wednesday of arbitrarily detaining more than 15 months as many as 2,700 Afghan evacuees who have not qualified for resettlement elsewhere. Many of the Afghans in Emirates' humanitarian city are suffering from depression and other psychological ailments, have no access to legal counsel, and have inadequate educational services for their children. A Human Rights Watch report said living conditions have also deteriorated significantly, with detainees describing overcrowding, of decay of infrastructure, and insect infestation. The report said of the facility in Abu Dhabi, a UAE official told reporters that the UAE continues to work with the United States and other international partners to resettle remaining evacuees in a timely manner, as per the original agreement. The official did not comment on the accusation of the Afghans were being detained. Private evacuation groups and the Emirati military flew thousands of Afghans into the UAE during the chaotic US withdrawal from Afghanistan that ended 20 years of war. Several private groups continued chartered evacuation flights after the US departure. Human Rights Watch called on the UAE to immediately release the Afghans, allow them to access to fair and individualized processing to determine their refugee status and protection requirements, and permit them to live wherever they want until their cases are resolved. China has accused the US of abusing a United Nations event to mark an International Day Against Islamophobia after the American ambassador in New York used it to draw attention to Beijing's persecution of Uyghur minority. The event was being held ahead of the first International Day of Combat of Islamophobia on Wednesday, which the General Assembly last year voted to observe annually on the 15th of March, the anniversary of the 2019 attack on 2 mosques in New Zealand, which left 51 people dead. Speaking at the event, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, the US ambassador to the UN, said that the US had formally recognized that Muslims are increasingly subject to discrimination and violence, and cited the treatment of the Uyghurs in China and the Rohingya in Myanmar. China's persecution of the Uyghurs has been documented by human rights organizations and by the UN's Office by the High Commissioner for Human Rights, and has been widely condemned by Western governments. Let us remind our respected viewers of today's headlines. The 24th of blessed month of Sha'ban marks the death anniversary of Shia jurist Ayatollah Mirza Shirazi. Human Rights Watch says over 2,000 Afghan evacuees in detention in the UAE. China and US clash over Uyghurs at UN Islamophobia event. Also tonight, Imam Hussein Holy Shrine to send aid relief to families affected by earthquake in Syria. Lahore in Pakistan has jumped more than 10 places to become the city with the worst air in the world in 2022, according to an annual global survey by a Swiss maker of air purifiers. The report published on Tuesday by IQ Air also said that Pakistan stood third among the countries with the most polluted air, while Bangladesh was the 5th and India the 8th. IQ Air measures air quality levels based on the concentration of lung-damaging airborne particles, known as PM 2.5. Its annual survey is widely cited by researchers and government organizations. The IQ Air Index was prepared using data from more than 30,000 air quality monitors in more than 7,300 locations in 131 countries and territories and other regions. And now we continue with some short news. The administration of Sayyidah Fatima Zahra Cultural and Charitable Foundation in Holy Karbala confirmed that its humanitarian aids are still being delivered to needy and orphan families. In a statement received by Shia Waves agency, the administration said that food baskets were recently distributed to needy and orphan families in the holy city of Karbala, coinciding with the blessed births of the Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam. Sayyidah Fatima Zahra Foundation is one of the institutions and centers affiliated to the Honorable Shirazi Authority. The Women's Department of Ahlul Bayt Center in Baghdad held an intellectual symposium headlined Imam Hussein is an endless source of giving. The female researchers and participants highlighted the humanitarian values established by the revolution of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, in contrast to those of tyranny and oppression established by Yazid. The researchers emphasized the importance of spreading these values through the whole world to enable the nations to know the internal message and cause of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. UNICEF has confirmed that there are more than 2.7 million children suffering acute malnutrition in Yemen. Among them, 570 children suffer severe acute malnutrition and need urgent medical care. The UNICEF Commission to Yemen said in a tweet on its official page that malnutrition is an endangering of millions of children's health. Lack to funding of UN's activities in Yemen worsens the already deteriorating humanitarian situation because of the ongoing war and state of violence. Federal Intelligence and Investigation Agency affiliated to Iraqi Ministry of Interior has announced today, Wednesday, that 7 terrorists arrested in Salah ad-Din Governorate, north of Baghdad, as they were inciting hatred and urging people to attack security forces. In a statement received by Shia Waves agency, they said that security forces continue their security operations to follow up terrorists. It is also worth mentioning that Iraq declared victory over the terrorist organization known as ISIS in 2017, and it captured the second largest city in the country. Supporters of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan clashed with police as the law enforcement have raided Khan's house in an ongoing police operation to arrest Imran Khan. Media outlets reported earlier today that Imran Khan tweeted that his house in Lahore, Zaman Park area, is under extreme attack. Roads near Zaman Park have been cornered off using shipping containers, while mobile and internet connectivity is severely restricted. According to reports coming out of Lahore, law enforcement officers are withdrawing from around former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan's Zaman Park residence in Lahore, officials say. Police from the capital Islamabad tried for a second day to arrest Imran in a case pertaining to his alleged selling of state gifts given by foreign leaders when he was a prime minister. The Crisis and Relief Cell affiliated to Imam Hussein Holy Shrine has announced that its employees prepared thousands of food baskets and other essentials and humanitarian aids to be distributed to Syrian families affected by a massive earthquake that had hit Turkey and Syria. Major General Ali Al-Hamdani, head of the cell, said in a statement to the official website, based on directives of the legal custodian of Imam Hussein's Holy Shrine, meetings were held with the Syrian officials to be briefed on the current situation there. Al-Hamdani also added that more than 36,000 food baskets containing more than 13 food items have been prepared to be distributed to those families. The United Nations has estimated Syria's death toll of the massive earthquake at nearly 6,000. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our viewers of today's headlines. 24th of the blessed month of Sha'ban marks the death anniversary of Shia jurist Ayatollah Mirza Shirazi. Human Rights Watch says over 2,000 Afghan evacuees in detention in the UAE. China and US clash over Uyghurs at UN Islamophobia event. Lahore, the most polluted city. Pakistan ranks third among countries. A new IQA report finds. Imam Hussein Holy Shrine to send aid relief to families affected by earthquake in Syria. You can view the latest news on Shia Waves website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of the screen. This is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Imam Hussein Media Group is moving to a new location. As the shrines plan to expand, we at Imam Hussein Media Group have secured and built a new building to help continue our efforts for Abba Abdullah.